What's up, all my soldiers? We back at it. We back at it. We back at it. Back at it. Back at it. Back at it. And this is the second reaction video in a row that I'm about to upload. The first two that these are the first two reaction videos I'm doing. On my reaction videos, if you go look at the first one I did, you'll see that I said the same thing pretty much. It's gonna be based off shit that I like in real life and shit that I might come across on the internet or shit that people send me. And I'm just like, the other people have to see this shit besides me. And because I don't want to be seen as a crazy person just because you're the only person who knows shit and then it can be turned against you. So let's react. Today we're gonna be reacting to some health-based shit. And I ran across this guy named Peter Glidden. Peter Glidden on Instagram one time. And Peter Glidden, he was talking about how the medical system in America, and pretty much in most of the Western world and most of Western medicine overall, is being used to manipulate sick people into like basically draining them of money while they're alive. And a lot of people already know this stuff, but we gotta sit right here and we're gonna react to Dr. Gillian, what the fuck Dr. Gillian's saying. So let's hop into it, man.
We need to know which ones we need to supplement more than the other, or
Well,
they're
there.
a blanket with all of them.
Well, that's a great question. So there are 91 nutrients. It's not 90 or 93, right? There's 91, and the breakdown is 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fats.
See, this is the shit right here that I fuck with already. Most people don't even know what the fuck he just said in the first 25 seconds of this video. That's only been 25 seconds. Let me run that shit back. Because this one right here is called What's in Your Supplements. And I hear a lot of people talking crazy shit about minerals and shit. They don't know shit about minerals almost. And minerals. And none at least do they know anything about anything besides sea moss almost. Not to be offensive, but
We need to know which ones we need to supplement more than the other, or
Well,
we need
there.
a blanket with all of them.
Well, that's a great question. So there are 91 nutrients. It's not 90 or 93, right? There's 91, and the breakdown is 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 essential fatty acids. That's omega-3, 6, and 9. So we need those specific ones, right? So then the next most important question is, well, which supplements am I going to use, or how am I going to secure those? Well, you have to employ the services of a nutritional supplement company that has excellent quality control and excellent recipes.
now I'm gonna go into that already because ever since I've been vegan, bro, I've been coming across this problem. When I turned vegan, like a year after I turned vegan, and getting intensely into it, right? You come across people saying, "Oh yeah, how are you going to get your vitamins and minerals and your nutrients?" And of course, at that time, I wasn't as studied as I am when it comes to health, anatomy, chemistry, biochemistry, fucking even physics. But with that being said, you wanna after people question you, like, you know what, nigga, let me go shut these motherfuckers up. Let me go do some research on nutrients, or let me just go to the store and buy some vitamins and minerals and shit. You go to that store and you go to any vitamin and mineral store almost. Vitamin and mineral store or vitamin and mineral section inside of a grocery store or something like that. You can guarantee that 95 to 90% of everything in that section is 100% made from byproducts of the oil companies, or just byproducts of different industries throughout America selling a leftover shit to people, and then chemists in laboratories literally flipping this leftover byproducts and mixing it into a pill form, and then telling you that you're gaining vitamin and minerals from these substances. So this is what he's saying basically. You have to understand that, bro. I don't give a fuck what it is. Especially the most detrimental thing that you could do is give. I don't want to say that, but the most scariest part of this whole vitamin and mineral shit that he's talking about right now is the fact that they try to push this shit on pregnant women, and that results sometimes is sad.
And this is
First-hand experience. I've seen that.
5,000-pound gorilla in the room of holistic medicine that nobody's talking about. Last year in the United States, we spent approximately 72, I think, billion with a B dollars on vitamins and herbs and nutritional supplements, and everybody is still sick.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because the recipes are inferior. The guy that extracts the vitamin C from the corn in South America, right, or wherever it's grown, that supply chain from the person that extracts the raw material to make the nutritional supplement to that raw material actually ending up in the bottle, there are like 25 steps along that supply chain. And unless the vitamin company has a quality control methodology which tracks all of that, they're not going to know that what is in the bottle is what they think is in the bottle.
My nigga
Or
Peter.
that it meets the label claim.
My nigga Peter going in, man.
Years ago, they randomly took vitamin supplements off of the shelf in health food stores, took them to labs and tested them. 9% of what they looked at had nothing in it. It was filler. There was nothing, no vitamins. 12% had less than half of what the label claimed. So it said 500 milligrams of vitamin C, it had 150 or whatever.
That's another thing too. The nutritional fact shit that we have in our country, especially the ones we use, the FDA tells people to use and shit like that, and the facts that they have at the FDA that they require people to go through in order for them to put a certain nutrients or whatever on their fucking labels. That shit's flawed as fuck and it's outdated. So unless you even update that shit, then I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the truth. Then most of the shit you out there you might think is the healthiest shit in the world for you because it got all the nutritional facts and shit on the back and it says it has this mineral in it and shit like that. A lot of these motherfuckers don't even have, like you just said, half of the nutrients in it. We talking about fresh foods, not to mention byproducts of shit that's supposed to have these nutrients left over in it. So let's get that shit out the way.
So really, this is all common sense when you boil it right down to the nuts and bolts. Nutritional supplementation is no different than chicken soup. The recipe is everything. How it's put together, the raw materials, how they're used, the quantities, the proportions, the spices, how long it's cooked, how it's bottled, how long it's on the shelf, all of these things make a gigantic difference with the absorbability, bioavailability, and effectiveness of a nutritional supplement. And unless you're taking the supplement made by a company that has good quality control, you might as well burn a $50 bill and eat the ash.
So consumers have to do their
That's basically what they literally doing.
Deal, do some homework, and
Trying to extract vitamins and minerals.
Find out that.
Well, really, in a perfect
barely
world,
got it in it.
would be taking care of it, but they're not. The government, there are quality control regulations that are in place, but they're not enforced enough. And don't get me started about the relationship between the government and the medical industry in the United States. I mean, that's a subject for I've lectured about that for hours. I wrote a book about that. So it's a big problem. But yeah, I mean, I've done this. Vitamin companies don't like me very much. I'm somewhat outspoken, and I have a 27-point, I think, bulleted quality control questionnaire that I forward to vitamin companies to see whether or not they can come up to speed. I found 3. In 23 years of clinical work as a licensed naturopathic doctor, I found 3 vitamin companies that meet my quality control standards. 3, only 3. So the best one, and we give vitamin company names here.
Sure.
Can we do this?
Yeah.
All right. Hands down, the best one is Longevity. Longevity nutritional supplements out of Southern California, San Diego. Hands down, the best recipes, the best quality control, and the best absorbability ratios of their stuff.
I never touched these products on myself when I got my own shit.
This is why,
it's cool
for instance,
to
Sally
listen to other
Field
people's shit.
can go on TV
I don't know if
and
he's
say
saying the
that she
truth or
got
he's trying to sell that
osteoporosis
shit.
even though she took calcium. Right? Osteoporosis
That
is a
part, at least.
multiple mineral
Rest of the shit, I believe it.
disease. It is not caused by. It is not genetic.
Go check it out. Let's
and it
all
is
go
not caused by aging.
check out.
When your
the
body
effect.
runs out of calcium and cofactors and minerals, your bones start to lose the raw materials that they need to stay healthy. It's not rocket science. But if you were to take a calcium citrate supplement that says 500 milligrams calcium citrate, that means in one 500 milligram capsule, there's approximately 200 milligrams of calcium and 300 milligrams of citrate. Your stomach hacks that molecule in two and liberates the calcium. But calcium from calcium citrate, if you're lucky, is about 30% absorbable. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
So 30% of 200 is 60. That means if you're lucky, you're going to pull 60 milligrams of calcium out of one 500 milligram capsule. So to meet the RDA for 1,200 milligrams, you need to take 20 a day. Most people take 2 or 3. And that's why everybody in this country is sick. Because number one, the recipes are poor. Number two, nobody's taking enough. Number three, what they're taking, they're not absorbing. And number four, there are less than...
I can't believe this shit, bro. I believe it because I already knew it, but it's like, I can't believe how these motherfuckers still selling this shit. You got whole supplement. I can't believe how these motherfuckers still selling this shit. You got whole supplement stores. I mean, we already know the supplement stores, but it's like, you barely, I mean, you got a couple co-ops in like cities scattered throughout your country, hopefully. In America, we got something called co-ops, but we got, you also got farmers markets and stuff like this. But with that being said, unless you go to these, I mean, we got to start connecting and building shit. Going to these farms, asking them, like, what's the quality of the nutrients in your food? You get what I'm saying? Simple shit.
And 3,000 licensed physicians.
All right, we're going to watch one more, then we're going to get out of here. See what this man got to say about this. He said, why athletes die young? Let's see. Mr. Peter.
Your colleague, Dr. Wallach, both of you talked about a topic that I thought was interesting, that athletes or people that do a lot of physical labor and sweat a lot live shorter than your typical couch potato. Can you explain that?
Yeah, it's crazy. We need to make a distinction here. There's never been a professional athlete that's lived to be over 100 years old. And quite frankly, when you look at professional athletes who've retired, I mean, they don't look that good, right? And you're looking at these guys. And
very few do. I agree with that. Very few do, bro. Especially when you're talking about professional athletes. Like, I don't even want to talk about it because there's not even some shit to talk about. But hold on. I don't even want to talk about it because it's not even really something to talk about. But don't look at no professional athlete feet, bro. Like, I know I got fucked up feet myself. Men don't give a fuck about their feet. But you could look at these niggas. I mean, you could look at a nigga, different symptoms on anybody's body, and be able to tell the deficiencies that they have in certain areas, or if they're overstressing certain parts of their body. So with that being said, they got billions of dollars. They can go get feet transplant replacements and shit like that. And I'm pretty sure half of these niggas probably do for half of this shit that you think that they're doing naturally. But with that being said, let's continue.
And they look much older than they are mostly. This is because, again, it's not rocket science. If we go back to the metaphor of the full tank, right? If this is how much nutrition the human body needs to stay healthy, this is how much we get from our food, more or less. And then when we exercise, our metabolic rate increases and we sweat. So when you exercise, just like stepping on the gas in your car, you burn through the oil and the gas and everything that much faster. So here's how much we need. Here's how much we get from our food. And then when we exercise, we burn through our reserves quicker. And then something breaks. That's why that kid a couple of months ago, that high school basketball player, died of a cardiomyopathy heart attack. Cardiomyopathy heart attacks, which is your heart enlarges and then basically bursts, right? There's only one thing that causes that. It's not enough selenium. Element selenium, again, selenium, just like with breast cancer prevention. If that kid's doctor
Of
should be
course, you
thrown
get
in
that from
jail.
Brazil nuts. That's the
It's
most
doctor's
richest source
fault that
that you can get that
if
from.
that kid was my patient, he'd still be alive. Because cardiomyopathy, heart attacks are not genetic. They are not caused by a voodoo curse. It's because your body, in his case, ran out of selenium, and then the heart burst. Why? Because it didn't have enough selenium, period. This is why we have a big healthcare crisis in the United States, because the people that are driving the bus of healthcare in the United States are trained in drugs and surgery only. And
This man Peter going in, bruh. Okay, so let's break this down right quick that he just said about the selenium. And that goes back to, a lot of the shit that Dr. Sebi was saying and people even before that. And selenium is important because people be going around talking about alkalinity and shit. But you have to understand that one of the most important things in order to maintain an alkaline body and attract iron inside of your body, and especially in certain organs like your thyroid and your digestive system overall, especially your nerves and shit like that. But specifically, let's talk about, you feel me, heart tissue and shit like that. All of these different organs need different tissues, and in order for them to be built literally and replicate over time, like he's saying, you're going to need certain minerals. But specifically, one of the ones that people are deficient in America is selenium, and that's just because of the way we treat our soils and shit like that. And I feel like that's the main reason. But outside of that, let's go.
for 100 years, the MDs have gone out of their way to kick the naturopaths, the homeopaths, the chiropractors, the osteopaths, the acupuncturists to the back of the bus. It's a travesty of biblical proportions here. We do not have health freedom in this country. There is not a level playing field. There is no fair market. Medicine in the United States. Medicine in the United States is profits driven, it is not results driven, and it is completely dominated and manipulated by MD directed, allopathic, reductionistic, pharmaceutical centrist medicine. And don't get me wrong, drugs and surgery will save your life when they're indicated. I can prescribe drugs as a naturopathic physician. In 20 years of clinical experience, I've needed to prescribe drugs less than 10 times.
And that's that. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go back and watch this about 10 times because you're going to have to digest some of the information, you feel me, beyond just the words and shit like that. But this has been the Soulgiant Entertainment CGT podcast, CGT Soulgiant YouTube production. And you need to go subscribe and make sure you keep up with the reaction videos because I'm going to try to keep up with it. So you're going to be here with me. Peace.